You're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com. This is Playboy Buddy Rose. And if you want to hear the best wrestlers and the best wrestling stories, stay tuned every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Western time, InYourHeadOnline.com, to get the best wrestling history stories ever told, past, present, and future.
All right, and we're back from break. And on the phone with us is Bryan Alvarez from Figure 4 Weekly. Welcome back to In Your Head.
How's it going, kid?
I'm doing good. Yourself?
I'm doing fine.
Kid, I think I'm older than you.
Yeah, you may be.
In my mid-50s.
No.
Well, not really. But
Scared.
we actually have a caller right in. Look, we got Alvarez on the phone, and as soon as he calls in, we've got a caller. Who's on the line?
This is Buck.
Oh, Buck is back.
Yeah.
Bugs?
Buck.
Hey, what's up?
It's Buck Winchester.
Oh,
Brian,
hey, how's it going? What's going on?
The In Your Head
How's it
Rookie of the Year.
How's it going, man? So anyway, I was just going to ask, I have the Super Chico 6 DVD.
Oh, jeez.
Like, it seems like to me that Vince, like, he has a certain charisma about him, and I think he could really do well if he really, like, committed to pro wrestling. So I just wondered, like, if he still does it nowadays or not.
Well, the story with Vince is he quit. He quit wrestling because he was not happy where he was working, which was ICW. But there's a group around here called Pinnacle Wrestling, and they have this clinic coming up with Dr. Tom Pritchard in January. And me and Buddy Wayne and a bunch of other people have been begging him to do this clinic because we think this could be a big break into the business. Because now that steroid testing is, you know, it's a big part of WWE now, so Vince's body would not be a detriment, and this could be it for him. So we are encouraging him to do that, so who knows?
I think he could do well. He's compelling. I'll give him that.
He's wacky.
Yeah. And also, question, I just want to know what happened to Ladies' Choice.
Ladies' Choice, I don't even know. I saw Ladies' Choice about 3 months ago at a show in Idaho, and he was just there working kind of as a manager or ring announcer. So that's pretty much the last I saw of him. So I don't know if I don't think he's still doing Portland wrestling. I think there were some problems with getting over the border, something of that nature. So really, I don't know.
Okay. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Buck. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
All right. Since you brought up the drug testing, do you think that's going to be legit?
Oh, it's legit. I'm sure of it. Yeah. In fact, if you watched Raw, there are already guys undergoing some changes. And on SmackDown, too, last night. There were guys that were leaner, smaller, just changes. And that's only been 7 days. So about 2 months from now, I think everybody's going to pretty much know for a fact that, you know, this is all real. So.
Yeah. I'm going to see, like, Lashley's going to look like Coco Beware or something.
Lashley wrestled in college at 177.
Yeah, I read that in the Observer, I believe.
So, yeah, he was very, very small. In fact, about 2 years ago, they did a deal, I think it was on Confidential, where Kurt Angle went back to his old college. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys in that little deal was Blaster Lashley. And, you know, he was maybe 215 then. This is about 2 years ago. So he's now about 285.
Yeah.
So he's put on a little weight.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all muscle.
Yeah, it is. Scary part.
I wish I could do that.
So yeah, I think the question it'll more be how long will this be in effect?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that needs to be in effect for about 10 years to start, you know, making a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Just because the guys nowadays, they've done plenty of damage, so it's not like it's going to be reversed. This policy is going to have to save the 20-year-olds that are coming into the business today, not the 38-year-olds like Eddie Guerrero, who, steroid testing or not, probably was not going to make it a long time just because of all that he put into his body previously. So.
Right.
Yeah. But the testing's real, so.
Yeah. You think that's going to help some certain guys there? Maybe I was thinking like it's going to help like Carlito.
I think that it's going to put everybody on a little bit more of an even playing field, but at the same time, you're still always going to have guys like, I mean, Big Show's always going to be 500 pounds whether he's on steroids or not.
Right.
Kane's always going to be 6'7" or 6'8", whatever he is, whether he's on steroids or not. So Vince does like big guys, and the guys that are really, really tall and just naturally built are always going to be pushed hard. And the lower level guys, you know, the guys all around 6 feet, 6'1", there's going to be a more even playing field there, I think.
I think it's a good time for a big man to make a debut again. Like a classic big man, kind of like a Bundy type guy or somebody like that.
Yeah, you could Yeah, there's been a lack of, I guess, Bruiser Brodies.
Yeah.
Because, he was a big, thick guy, but it wasn't like he was ripped or anything like that.
Right.
So,
No, I mentioned this about an hour ago, and I got laughed at for it, but I think we need to see the debut of Cheeks on Raw.
Well, I don't think you'll be seeing it. They've only got Viscera.
New tag team.
Yeah, Viscera is like
classics.
an in-shape Cheeks.
How sad is that? They're scary. We have another caller. Who is this?
Hey.
Is this Blue Fist there?
Yeah, it's me again.
You're on the line now with Bryan Alvarez.
Excellent. Hey,
You
Brian.
weren't good enough.
Hey, what's going on?
I'm a fairly new subscriber to your service, and I'm having a ball with it. I just
Are you the same Blue Fist from the board?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Blue Fist gets around.
Yeah, listen, well, only those shows that are really of, like, a certain level of quality.
Right.
Do with that comment what you will. But anyway, the show today with Larry Matisic, that was really awesome.
Oh, thank you, yeah.
I could listen to that for like 3 hours. But anyway, what do you think with regards to this whole thing with like the Samoa Joe versus Kobashi match? I mean, it was a great match and everything. It was just brutal punishment. But do you think, in all honesty, that it would have been universally lauded by all the critics and whatnot had it not been for the fact that the crowd seemed to mark out like for everything they did? Like even if like they blinked, it was like, Kobashi blinked. This is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you watch the match, about 2 minutes into the match, they were teasing a test of strength. They hadn't even started the test of strength yet. They were just putting their fingers up. And there was a "This is awesome" chant. And it was at that point that I thought, Kobashi's having the easiest 5-star match of his life right now, or Joe. And, by the end, they pretty much, they did everything. And they worked very, very hard, but I'm not going to say that the crowd wasn't a major, major part of the reason that that match was as special as it was, because they were a major part of it. And without the crowd, it probably wouldn't have been the same. In fact, it definitely wouldn't have been the same match. And I'm one of those people that I think that how the crowd behaves for your match is a major part of the entire package. And if you're doing a match, and for whatever reason, the crowd is just going absolutely haywire for Kobashi blinking, then it works, and you're doing something right. And it's not like they sort of coasted through the match and just kind of let the crowd carry the whole thing. They worked damn hard. So, yeah, I thought it was a tremendous match, but in front of a different crowd, in front of a WWE crowd, probably wouldn't have been quite the same.
Yeah, but it was definitely something special, and I agree with what you said on the newsletter this week, that it accomplished what it set out to do, and that it pleased the audience that it was set in front of.
Yeah.
But I'm a little leery of calling it like match of the year quality, but it was special, and I would encourage anybody to get to buy the DVD or somehow get a chance to see it, because it was really one of the better things this year.
Yeah, I pretty much felt the same way, where I don't know if I would call it the best match of the year, but, I mean, as far as what they set out to do and what the fans wanted, they gave them everything. They gave them everything they wanted and probably a little bit more, and I guess, from that perspective, it was a perfect match.
Yeah. I don't know if it was worth Joe saying something like, I don't care how many clicks are in my neck for the rest of my life. I mean, that's your own choice how much you love what you do and everything, but it definitely was special. But
yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot, Brian, and I enjoy the site, and I'm really glad that I actually ponied up the money for it.
Well, thank you. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in, Blue Fist.
All right, bye, guys.
See ya. Somebody in our chat room right now, FTCWF, he wants to know what you thought about the Maria angle on Monday, what Kurt Angle did to her.
Actually, I was not as appalled as I thought I was going to be when I read something before the show started that it was going to happen.
Right.
Mostly because, it's a goofy, it's a cheap heat angle, and Maria's been doing plenty of training in Deep South or Ohio Valley, so it's not like she's going to get hurt, so I was fine with it. It was kind of, what can you do?
Right.
I saw far worse last night.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. He had one more question, too. He wanted to know, are you looking forward to the WWE conference call tomorrow?
I am. I actually don't even know what time it is, but I'm hoping that tomorrow, and I think it's going to be the call where they get a lot of hell from the callers, and I'm very excited for that. Unfortunately, I think that if they start getting hell in the first two calls, those will be the last 2 calls.
Right.
Because they've done it before. They've only taken 3 calls the entire deal, and it's not like the old days where you'd have 45 minutes of calls, and there were some good ones in there. But, yeah, I'm hoping that somebody gets in and makes a couple of comments, because there's some comments that need to be made, and tomorrow's the day to do it.
Cool.
Only rumors circulating of a James from Kentucky call.
Oh, jeez. If James in Kentucky is listening, please call.
We've been trying to get him on this show as a guest for a long time. So if you're listening,
you've actually located him?
No, we haven't.
I need to get on that.
Yeah,
just drive down to Kentucky.
We have a fan who sends me clips of James from Kentucky calling.
You ever hear like the James in Kentucky call when he got kicked off Observer Live on Yada, so he started calling other shows, asking why he'd been kicked off.
That's the one
that
he sent me.
Stuff.
I actually I forwarded it to you once. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. James in Kentucky.
You talked about last night, so we'll ask about that. What did you think about the whole Big Show versus Rey Mysterio match?
Well, I actually have to go back to Sunday at the pay-per-view when Vince McMahon had the meeting with John Cena and just basically racial slur slipped out, or maybe not slipped out. In fact, I'm sure it didn't slip out. He meant to say it.
Yeah.
And Booker T in storyline, of course, was appalled. And, it was like, I don't think Vince McMahon is a racist.
Yeah.
But when I watched that, I just was like, this guy's lost his mind.
Uh-huh.
And I've thought that for a long time, ever since really the XFL folded. I thought, this guy, something went wrong when the XFL went under. And he's never been the same. And then last night, when the angle was basically, they used Eddie Guerrero's car to kill The Undertaker.
Right.
I thought, okay, all I could think was he's lost his mind. It's over now. He's too far gone. I always sort of thought that maybe after a couple of years after the XFL, maybe he'd start to sort of recover. Now I'm just convinced there's no turning back. Vince, it's the end. So, I don't know.
The whole match should make much sense, because they're saying, it's like a tribute to Eddie Guerrero. And first, I didn't even think it was cool. Rey Mysterio's laying on the mat, and he's like looking up, yelling, Eddie, Eddie.
I know, he was yelling for a real-life deceased person in a fake match.
Yeah, exactly.
That was weird enough.
Yeah, it's one thing when the crowd does it,
Yeah.
But when he starts doing himself.
His name, but
right.
So,
and then I just figured they'd have, he'd just come back, and it would be the big, he'd beat Big Show, and it'd be like a feel-good thing, but they just had him destroy him.
Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, there was something about it. I couldn't even really get angry, because it was more just like, I can't believe he did that. It's just like, like if a crazy person does something, violent, part of you just has to think, well, he's crazy, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's sort of what I thought about Vince. He's just, I pity him, really.
Yeah. There was another thing, too, because the whole match was, they kept talking about Eddie, and then when Undertaker appeared in the ring, they're like, and the dead has risen. I just thought,
the dead has risen. And that was the Vince McMahon line, too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I don't know. That to me was like, that was when it really hit me, that I've been watching WCW die for the last 2 months now. And it's been about 2 months that they've been sliding. But, yeah, I think that this is, I've said it many times, but when I write Death of WWE, these last 2 months will be a chapter, for sure.
Right.
You can start writing it already.
God, I have been, basically.
Do you have a question from the message board?
I just wanted to say our webmaster, Tyler, he brings up that Alvarez owns us all. Any comments on that?
That's quite the question.
Well, it was on the message board.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, well.
We didn't have any pictures this time around.
No new photographs?
No, I was kind of depressed about that.
I was hoping there'd be some sort of photograph of me at the McDonald's Playland.
Well, you mentioned
danger that I'd be calling in from there.
I just wanted to ask, because we talked about this earlier, did they really split up Cade and Murdoch?
Yeah, as far as I know. I actually don't even know the story yet. It's sort of, I was watching Raw like everybody else, and just out of nowhere there was the offhanded remark that Murdoch has gone off on his own. And that was all he said about it. So I thought, I'm thinking Lance Cade maybe might have done something.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking, since I guess he did a job to Tajiri on the Heat show.
Yes, I think he probably pissed somebody off somewhere, but I don't know the whole story yet.
Yeah, and that was a really good team. I don't know why they split them up so quick.
It makes no sense, though.
Yeah.
But,
do you think Murdoch would get a push?
I think they're going to probably try something with him, because really they can try something with anybody now.
Yeah.
And he's obviously, 100% natural, so,
right.
There's always that aspect of it. But I think that, there are guys that are high on him, so they're going to give him a chance. And he looked good elsewhere, Indies and Japan and such, but it's a different sort of style. It's like saying that, the Dicks look great in Ohio Valley, and they're a totally different team in WWE, so.
We'll say that. What do you think about some of the guys they decided to bring up? Do you think they were good choices, like the Boogeyman or the Dicks?
I was, one of the callers mentioned the Larry Madison show, and we were both talking about this, where it's so weird that you train a guy in Ohio Valley, and I watch Ohio Valley every week, so I see what these guys are doing before they get called up. And there's so many guys that they have such great personalities, and they have such great gimmicks, and they're so entertaining. Like, the Dicks in Ohio Valley were Chad and Tank Toland, and they had some of the most awesome skits. They went to the mall. They did a skit at McDonald's, of all places. And you knew everything about Chad and Tank. And they brought them up. They put them in suspenders. They called them the Dicks. We know nothing about them. Nobody cares. It was a one-week joke that's already old.
Right.
And
it was old the first promo.
Very old.
Yeah,
they used it about 20 times.
Yeah, and the same thing with like Eminem. They brought him up and they sort of did something with him. They actually did better than normal with Eminem.
Yeah.
But 2 months they gave him a push, and all of a sudden they put him in the feud with the LOD. Killed him dead. And then after about 3 months they decided to try and push him again, and they're not over, and they can't figure out why. Because they just had a 3-month feud with Heidenreich and Animal, and were beaten right and left.
All right.
So
I thought Animal would disappear after they lost the tag titles.
Oh God, I thought he was going to disappear in June.
Yeah.
And he's, cause, I thought, okay, maybe there's a tie-in with the Road Warriors DVD. That's fine.
Yeah,
but
just bring
now
it back
it's
for one time,
November. Yeah, it's November now, and he's an active member of the roster. So, I don't know.
Someone in our message board, they want to know if you miss Super Porky on WWE TV.
I do, and he may be returning.
Ah, cool.
I don't know this for sure, but there's something is happening with Super Porky. So, yeah. But I do miss him, and I will say, you asked about Boogeyman a second ago. They've actually done so much better with Boogeyman than I would have ever expected. I thought they would just bring him up and put him in the ring and have him win the U.S. title on the first night, and then discover on night 2 that he can't work. Because he'd had, I swear to God, 2 matches or something before, in his life, before they ever called him up. And thankfully they seem to have figured it out, because now he just drools backstage, which I'm totally cool with, because it's a perfect usage of it.
Yeah.
They could have done far worse with him.
We need more droolers in wrestling.
They do.
Yeah. And I'm glad that he doesn't wear the fake teeth. I like the no teeth.
Oh yeah, that was I don't know, the Lord doing something good for the Boogeyman by knocking his teeth out in Ohio Valley.
What happened to his scepter?
His teeth?
His scepter.
Oh, did he have a scepter or like a?
He had a stick thing.
Oh, now he just brings a big clock.
Well, he actually had a bunch of different things. Like, I think in his debut he wore horns.
Right.
And I think that was his own idea. Like, Cornette didn't know he was going to come out under the ring wearing horns.
Yeah.
So I think that a lot of the things that you probably saw from the Boogeyman were just things that he grabbed before doing the promo. So, yeah, that's probably why they're no longer around.
Oh, he's the man. How about Lashley? He's another guy they brought up.
Yeah,
We talked about him a little while ago.
Oh, they brought him up too early, but it was because he was huge.
Yeah.
Ain't going to be much anymore, but, he has a ton of potential. It's just, you can't expose him too early. And when they pinned him at Survivor Series, I thought, well, that was good. It's been real.
Yeah, I was really surprised he was the first guy out.
Pinned by a guy on the apron.
Yeah. I assumed he'd be one of the guys in those kind of matches that got counted out or disqualified.
Yeah. Just putting him in the match was stupid. They should protect him for a year. But no, had to put him in the main event about 3 months after his debut, pinned him. So yeah, I don't know what they do with him now, but...
Ken Kennedy's a guy who's survived more or less unchanged.
Well, until this week. He was doing fine, and then I think it's the Eminem deal where, a guy gets pushed for a couple of months, and then they bury him for a while, which is actually something Vince has done for over a decade. It's a deal where, give them a push right out of the box, and then kind of put them in their place so that their head doesn't get too big or their ego or whatever. But then the fans have been conditioned to think that they're a mid-carder, and then they're stuck there forever. And, I don't know why, but a week ago I thought, well, any week now, Ken Kennedy's going to be doing jobs left and right. And it didn't happen this week, but they did move into Velocity. So I don't know what that means for him, but he's not even on SmackDown this week. He's on the Internet show.
Yeah. He's definitely a guy I thought they could make a big star, because he just got over right away, just does promos.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy that the fans will turn babyface eventually.
Oh, yeah. He did the gimmick in Ohio Valley for a while, and it worked, and I was stunned that they brought him up and let him do it, because usually something they don't do.
Right.
He was Daniel Pewter's personal announcer, I believe.
Yeah, he was working with Pewter before they cut Daniel Pewter for whatever reason. There's another one this year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I saw his last match, and it was real good for his level of experience. And then he was cut. So,
do you think they're going to do Tough Enough again?
Probably not. I think that after they cut Pewter, it was like, you can't do this again because nobody's going to believe it. Nobody's going to buy it. Especially if they try the $1 million deal again, because that was obviously a scam.
Right.
So
he's caught already.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier on the TNA pay-per-view. They have the barbed wire match. They announced it's going to be a no-rope match. Do you think they're just going to? Do you think this will be a bloodfest? Do you think they're going to be able to get away with that on pay-per-view?
I'm not sure how they're going to do it, really. I know that at the tapings they actually put up the barbed wire ropes, did a promo, and then took them down, and the fans had no idea what to make of that. But, they've had barbed wire on pay-per-view, but I think 9 times out of 10 it's been fake barbed wire.
Yeah.
And I have this funny feeling that Sabu and Abyss are not going to want to use fake barbed wire.
I really don't. Yeah.
So,
I read today that it's going to be a no-rope one.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it is, because when they did the promo, they took the ropes down and put the barbed wire up. So
yeah.
I don't know why they do that if it wasn't going to be a no-rope barbed wire match. But yeah, it's probably,
It'd be weird opening the card with that, too.
Well, let's see. Yeah, I guess unless they want to do the main event.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to put them up and take them down in the middle of a pay-per-view, but I would assume they would have had to have cleared it with the cable company first, but that's going to be a spectacle.
We have an update that the conference call is 11 a.m. tomorrow. Eastern
11
time.
Eastern?
Yeah.
Bastard, it's 8 o'clock in the morning over here.
Oh, you got to get up early.
Oh, well.
He also wants to know, do you know anything new on the contract of Benoit or Paul Heyman?
Heyman has not re-signed. Benoit, I haven't heard an update in a week, but a week ago I was told that he'd either re-signed or just had to finish signing the actual paper. But I know that there was an article in Japan that said he was going to New Japan, which I don't think there's anything to that. I'd be stunned if he left, so I'm pretty sure he's going to stick around and probably has already re-signed.
Yeah.
Heyman, I don't know. He really, there actually are things that he's looking into, but
outside of wrestling.
Yeah, outside of wrestling. But he, for $250,000 a year to book Ohio Valley, if they offer him that again, I think
it's hard to turn down.
Yeah.
Especially when you get older.
Oh yeah.
Here's a spoiler, so anybody listening, so they don't send me any hate mails this week. Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan's on the TNA taping.
Yeah. He's friends with Tenay, obviously, good friends. They did Cauliflower Alley together and everything and worked together in WCW, so I'm actually surprised they didn't bring him in earlier. But the thing with TNA is, I was watching the show last week, and there's just something, the problems are deeper than bringing in recognizable faces right now. They've got Christian. I mean, if you're bringing in 50 recognizable faces, none of them are really going to get over.
Mm-hmm.
So I would concentrate on Christian right now. Heenan's obviously not going to be the main event mix, so that's no big deal.
Yeah.
If they're thinking of bringing in other guys, they need to look at what the problems they've got now are, as opposed to looking about who they can bring in. Because I watch the show and it's the same formula every time. There's a squash match that goes 15 seconds that is a clean finish, and then there are 3 matches that go 15 minutes that have no clean finish. And then you've got every match with some different wacky set of rules. And, I talk to friends all the time that started watching when it just started on Spike. And these people, they have no idea who Monty Brown is, why he behaves the way he does. They don't understand half the storylines. And TNA needs to understand that they've got, 2/3 of their audience right now is new, and they're not on the internet. And they need to cater to those people. Stuff like not announcing Christian appearing on a pay-per-view, absolutely stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like giving his first match away for free on TV, which they're going to do, absolutely stupid. This is basic pro wrestling booking that they're screwing up, and that's the problem. The problem is not they don't have enough Christians and Dudleys running around.
Right. Do you think it's going to be a long-term deal or just a one-time thing with Heenan?
He'll probably come in somewhat regularly. It's only 2 dates a month, really. The 2 tapings and the pay-per-views. So, I can see him coming in regular. I don't know what he'll do, really.
Yeah, I was going to ask what his role is going to be.
Yeah, maybe the only thing I can think of is maybe a commissioner, because I don't think they're going to make any changes in the booth.
Yeah.
Although I suppose they could add, they could add Heenan maybe.
Yeah. You can't get rid of the Don West.
What does Don West do with Heenan there, though? That's a good question. So. But yeah, not going to be doing a manager gig or anything like that. Especially with all the crazy dives, he'd be terrified. So.
We had Don West on. He gave us a hard sell for the website, which was just pure gold.
Did he?
Yeah.
So like that one years ago where he was spitting and turning red and screaming at TNA?
Oh, yeah. That was
awesome.
That was, I just cracked up. I think that was one of the first issues of Figure 4 that I read. And when I read your review of that, it was hysterical.
And it didn't even do justice to how it really was. The real deal was so much better.
You have a question from the message board, Barb, you're into?
Extreme Falls, he just wants to know what's your comments to Vince Russo's remarks about the deaf WCW.
He's an idiot.
Our fan?
The comment was that I think the main comment this person is probably asking about is the one where he said that we weren't in WCW, so how could we write about it? And I use the analogy in the newsletter, but if Vince Russo calls his mom and asks how's the weather, and she says it's raining, and then Vince Russo's wife asks, how's the weather at your mom's place? Well, Vince Russo couldn't answer because he wasn't standing out there in the rain.
Right.
That's basically what he's saying. And Vince Russo, the man of God, how's he going to ever do a sermon that wasn't around 2,000 years ago when Jesus was preaching? How's he going to preach about this? Because he read about it in a book? He wasn't there. So, he's an idiot.
Yeah, same thing when anybody says stuff about that. It'd be the same thing like if you're a movie critic, or you can't say you like a movie or not if you've never made a movie.
Yeah. Or I can't judge somebody's cooking because I'm not a chef.
Right. Oh, you don't know what's good.
God, this fish sucks. Oh, you ever cook fish? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's wonderful.
It's quite hard.
I've cooked fish.
Who's on the line? We got another caller?
This is John from Buffalo.
Hey, John.
Hello.
What?
This is John from Buffalo.
All right. You got a question?
Taking the piss? What? What
yes. Well, actually, guys, I stand corrected. It's the Big Marsh from Monday Night Mayhem.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
I tried to throw you guys a little bone here and whatnot, but first things first, you got Alvarez still on the line, do you not?
Yeah, he's here.
We have Alvarez on the
You're
line.
listening, aren't you?
Is this an invasion?
This is the invasion.
I think so.
Come on, there's been 65 invasions. They're all played out anyways. One thing that I want to know, first of all, happy holidays to Brian. Did you get your Mayhem shirt?
I did, and I want to thank you very much for the Mayhem shirt. I've worn it twice already, and I just got it a week ago.
Oh, man. Now you're going to pressure us to send him a In Your Head shirt.
That's right, I want one.
Which you can buy at InYourHeadOnline.com.
I heard that the 3 hottest things for wrestling fans to purchase during the course of the holiday season is a Mayhem shirt, an In Your Head shirt, and a subscription to Figure 4 Weekly.
You can also get a Figure 4 t-shirt.
Actually.
Yeah.
Now, there is some rumors going around that is the case, and of course, if you see it on the internet, if you read it, it must be the Bible Gospel according to
Vince Russo.
There we go.
Vince Russo. Listen, you guys are having a hell of a show, and whenever you jamokes are done wrapping up, you can join us this evening for Jimmy Zan of JimmyZan.com and One Lance Hoyt.
That's right. Everybody, Monday Night Mayhem is following us tonight. They're trying to pick up the In Your Head listeners. So we're helping out the Big Mosh.
Or sort of vice versa. But I'm going to let you guys jet and feel free. We don't want to take your audience, but we're going to start right now. So just let us know when you're done. You guys have a good night.
All right, see you, Mosh.
Cool, Mosh.
Man, that man can talk.
He's kicking us off.
He's not kicking us off. This is our time. So.
Okay.
If you want to subscribe to the Figure 4, if you could do it to the link on our website.
That's right, which I encourage you all to do.
Right.
Kick ass. Now, are you afraid of spiders, Mr. Alvarez?
I'm terrified, yes.
Awesome.
Well, then you...
In fact, we had to stop a show once because there was a spider in the house, and I had to send Vince after it.
I listened to that show.
I know you're a big movie fan, right? Are you a fan of the original King Kong?
I am actually a fan of the original King Kong.
Well, have you seen...
In fact, when I was little, I wanted to get into movie making because I loved King Kong, and I wanted to make myself my own little stop-motion King Kong doll.
Oh, see, now you'll appreciate this. Have you seen the new special on the King Kong DVD box set?
I haven't yet.
Oh, well, Peter Jackson has added a scene that was cut out of the original King Kong.
Really?
Where the guys fall into a pit of giant spiders. And they cut it out because they thought it was too scary for the fans, for the people at the theaters. And so that footage is all lost. But Peter Jackson redid it with only things that were available at the time and put it on the DVD.
So, like, stop motion and everything?
Yeah, it's done in stop motion, black and white, and only things that were available at the time.
I actually remember hearing that story that they had the spider scene and they had to get rid of it.
Yeah, so I'm really looking
glad I didn't see it. It was that was a great film, though.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites. I had that on we have a side show, Without Your Head, where we talk about horror movies, and that was on my top 10 horror movie list.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good one.
I gotta get out all the plugs many plugs as possible for our own show. Do you have any other questions, Barbie? Incher?
No.
I saw
Big Mike mentioned his shirt.
that Edge's talk show was cut off Raw.
Oh, that?
I read that Edge's talk show was cut off Raw this week. He was supposed to have...
It was. I don't know why yet, but he was supposed to interview Hunter, and that's probably the answer right there.
Right. Yeah, I don't...
So.
That was weird, too, at the pay-per-view, when he was brought up all the steroids to the baseball players.
Yeah, that pissed me off because... I mean, it's like now the company line is that just because Vince McMahon a week ago announced that they were going to do testing, which has not even gone into effect yet, mind you, that now all of a sudden they're clean and everybody else is taking steroids. And to me, that is such bullshit.
Yeah.
So, but that's Vince for you.
Well, it's
I put nothing past the man now. What was that?
It's an in for CM Punk, I suppose.
Yeah, it's an in for about 5% of the active roster right now, so soon much, much more. But yeah, it's going to be fun watching the next couple of weeks as people just continue to shrink.
You had a question, didn't you, Incher, about the time machine?
Oh, no. It wasn't really a question. I just wanted to... I had a thing on the message board about the Orlando Jordan time machine. It's not even a question. I don't even know why my co-host brought it up.
What the hell's up with the time machine?
What the hell's up with the time machine?
I don't know. I made one comment about how Orlando Jordan should have gone back in time or something. I can't even remember what it was. And it exploded on the message board. So now there's a long Orlando Jordan's time machine thread and references that pop up every now and then. And I can't even remember the original joke.
I've also been wondering if you were mad that I stole your chat room.
Stole my chat room?
Yeah, I stole the chat room. Well, I didn't steal your actual chat room, but I used the same program.
Oh, really? You get $5?
Yeah, I paid the $5.
Yeah,
I sunk my life savings into the chat room.
I actually am not a huge fan of the chat room program, but it's not bad. A couple tweaks. It's slow sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
$5.
It does look nice.
We've been having little problems, too.
Yeah, we had to move to a new server. It's just
I blame my webmaster, Tony, for purchasing that particular program.
My webmaster doesn't like me for buying. He's not a fan of it.
Yeah, I think it's a webmaster thing. They don't like dealing with it, but it does what needs to be done.
Yeah. Anything you want to add? Anybody? So we gonna let the mosher on.
Of course, everybody needs to sign up to f4wonline.com. You can get archives of Brian's Figure 4 Weekly and radio show every day.
I just want to ask one thing, though, before we let him go. Is do you think Batista's going to keep the belt? He's going to stick it out?
Oh, yeah, he's sticking it out for sure.
Yeah.
At least it's planned. So, yeah, he's going to work through the injury. And now that they're testing for pain pills and such, it's going to be a very miserable time for Big Dave. But what can you do?
So the reported ads of a Hell in a Cell between Orton and... I'm getting messages from the producer telling me to plug the show that's coming on next, but I'm not going to do it yet. the proposed match between Orton and Taker in a Hell in a Cell for the vacated World Heavyweight title that are running, I believe, somewhere in New York.
What was that?
As I understand it,
He's British.
Sure. As I understand it, there are advertisements running in New York for a Hell in a Cell between Orton and The Undertaker for the vacated heavyweight title.
Yeah, I think that those ads were probably made before everything went down. They may end up vacating the title, but I think that the idea was there was going to be a title change on that SmackDown show last week in the street fight, and that ended up getting changed when Batista decided he was going to stick it out. So they're going to do the Hell in a Cell match for sure. I don't think it's going to be for the title, but I guess, anything can happen. But I think as of now, that's just, Batista's going to hold on to it.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming on again. Really appreciate it.
That's right. Check out F4WOnline.com, everybody.
All right.
Appreciate it, as does Vincent.
This is Greg Gagne, and you're listening to In Your Head Online.com.